Hey everybody, it's Jason with JR Custom Designs. How you doing tonight? I got a video here for you for the alignment jig for CO2 laser systems. System was designed around the Boss laser. It works for all Boss lasers. The only ones that are tool-free installation and use are the 2436 and the 3655. All others will require a drilling of several holes to mount a rail system with a supplied jig guide template to install the rails for precision alignment. It'll also come with self-tapping screws to attach it to the beam. We'll go ahead and get started. I'll try to keep this brief. All this is an install video. I'm going to be doing a how-to video or a usage video later. I just wanted to go ahead and do an official install video. But first I want to show you some things you're going to be getting with the kit. You're going to be getting everything you see here. You got a 90-degree truing. You got long sliders for your rotary attachment to be able to align that with your gantry. Then you got the kit will come assembled as this with the short leg for your smaller materials. And then there's the other one there. Also, you'll get 4 T-nuts and 4 screws and washers to attach the mount. Of the 4 T-nuts, there's going to be 2 T-nuts that are thick and 2 are thin. Alright, this is an example of a thick and a thin. It's just slightly smaller than the other. Alright, these are intentionally made this way to allow you to slide the mount along the gantry with only having to undo one screw. And the way I do it when I install it is, I'll show you. Okay, up underneath here, there's a groove that runs inside of here by the light. I'd show you, but the light kind of drowns it out. But if you feel up in there, you'll feel a groove on both sides. Alright, these T-nuts are especially designed to fit up in there and lock into place to allow you to mount your fixture. Alright, so what I do is I separate them into 2 groups, the thick and the thin, and I start with the left and work my way to the right. And how you do that is you make sure that this nut is up as you're installing it. If it's down, it's in the zone. This platform right here, this lip, this small platform faces the bed. Okay, so when you stick it up in there, I start with the left side and I use the thin one. Stick it up in there, you find the groove. Once you find the groove, snap it and lock it in place. Then you take the thick one, put it to the right of that one. Okay, lock it into place. And then you do the order in the reverse by installing the thick one first, snap it into place, and then the thin one. I do it this way. You could do it the opposite way. The key is there has to be a thin and there has to be a thick T-nut on each side, or else this will not work properly. And I'll be getting hate mail and emails and texts and everything else. Alright, so next, what we have here are the mount pads and the pivot arms. Alright, this is the left side pivot arm. The way you know this is it pivots to the left and to the right. Okay, on the right arm, you'll notice it only pivots to the left. It will not pivot past 90 to the right. And that's intentionally done that way, and I'll show you on the next video I do why that is and how it functions. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to grab the one that pivots both ways. That's your left side. Take your screw, put it into your mount hole, find your T-nuts, and then you're just going to start the threads. Leave it dangle. You don't want it to be tight. Then you'll take your second one. That's to allow you to be able to line up everything easier with less headache. Okay, then you line it up, And the mount on the right can be completely tightened down as tight, well, not as tight as you can get it, but nice and snug, okay? See, it lets this move still. Now, and being the reason behind this, you tighten down the left one and it'll lock it to the rail. But most importantly is when you're doing this, you want to grab it from behind with your finger and grab the beam with your thumb and pull it all the way forward. There is a little bit of slop, not much. There has to be some in there because the T-nuts. So, but grab it from the back with your finger, and on your thumb, grab the front, and then you tighten down this nut. But I'm gonna slide it over here into place. I have my beam marked for wider material and my rotary. So I'm just gonna put it in the ballpark there. All right, once it's in place, tighten this up by pulling all the way to the front, and then you're going to tighten it all the way down. Alright. Now this is just a friction lock, but as you can see, it holds it in place. If I pull it hard enough, it will move. But it's not meant to have force put on it, so it shouldn't move. Alright. Now, I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. Just start the threads. And the good thing about this too is if you don't want this on here anymore, you can easily just unscrew the base and leave the T-nuts up in the track, because there's another tool I'm coming out with that'll actually utilize those T-nuts, or you can put new ones in there, have a couple sets in there to work with for what you're doing. But as of right now, this is the only thing that they work on. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave this one. Alright, so in case I hadn't mentioned it before, the point of having a smaller T-nut on one side and a thicker one on the other is to allow for one screw to allow you to move it instead of having to fiddle with two screws on each leg. Okay, so now I'm installed. You look at this one, it won't go past vertical. It'll go up, but it won't go past vertical. From here, we'll go up either way, left or right, and just stowed position. These positions here are the down position, and obviously use it as such. Okay, so you may wonder, okay, well, that's all well and good, but what's this thing do? Well, I'm going to show you. You lower the legs to just above your blades here, and then tighten them down. That allows them to move freely. You don't have to worry you got stuff in the way. It doesn't matter. Take a little trip with me here. Find a piece of wood. Alright, so found a piece of wood that we're going to use for this demo. Alright, so you put your piece of wood down on the bed, right? Put it all crooked. Doesn't really matter. Then you're going to use your gantry to bring it square. Now, it's touching both sides. That's just one way to do it. That's the fun way to do it for me. You can do it manually by just pushing the board up against it. But now, take a look down the gantry. You have a nice even gap. Perfectly aligned. Okay? And that you can get the same results every single time. Now this can come into handy with either the knife table or the honeycomb table. It works the same either way. Once you straighten it up, or like I said, you can take it and just manually, sorry I can't get a wide angle here, take it manually, just push it up against both of them when it stops, and you can take another look. Good to go. Alright, so that's how that works for material, getting it lined up. And sometimes I'll use a piece of tape or something. I've seen other ways of lining it up, and I've been working on a way to basically fix a corner. Okay, now with this system, let's see. As you can see, the laser head is not exactly right up there with the jig, and if it was, it'd be hitting the jig, and that would be no good. Okay, so the way to correct this to get the same position every single time is we're going to use a combination of this foot that goes on the right leg, or the right pivot arm, and in your software you can put an offset box to where it'll jump to the top. So basically you put a mark, or you pin a mark, and then you measure from the leg to the hole that you left with the laser, and then you make a box or a border that big, so when you go to start, it'll jump right to it, and it'll start doing it as if it was already there. Unfortunately, there's not an easier way to do it, because obviously the head moves and you can't have anything in the way. And trying to figure out how to design something to where it works the same every time. I have a blade clamp in the works, and I kind of hesitate bringing it out because there's one art out there like it. But we'll see. So with that being said, so what I want to do now is I want to move the head out of the way. Now I'm going to take this short foot off, and I'm going to put this 90-degree foot in its place. Okay, again, just above the blade, and tighten it down. Okay, now what that does is this foot will not go past 90. So now you can take your material and you can butt it up to it, right to the edge. I don't think this board's cut straight, but it's true along the edge. So it doesn't matter if the board's straight or not. If it's got a bow to it or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's going to straighten off 2 points, and 2 points only. Unless you have a square piece, like cutting boards, plaques, things like that. This comes in handy for that because it's easy to true it up, which the legs themselves do a good job of it. But this here is an end stop, more or less. It don't let you go past a certain point. So if, let's say, right here you have your origin set. You set your origin to the back corner. After you set this up the first time, you set your origin to the back corner. You put a box around it, and once you hit start, the laser will automatically jump back to the corner and then go start doing its cutting. But the biggest thing is you do not want to operate this laser with these feet down, because it will not work. Something will hit, something will bind, something may break. So when you're done truing up your piece, you can move the rail back. In this case, to clear the foot, fold it up. Now you got all your clearance. Your head can move freely back and forth and doesn't hit anything. Okay. So that is going to conclude the installation part of this. The only thing I didn't mention before, which I hope is kind of obvious is that the JER 3D faces front along with the slit in the pivot arm, same on this side. That way you can access everything from the front and everything's installed properly. Alright, well that was a quick down and dirty of how to install this tool. It's pretty simple. It takes one Allen wrench and a finger and a thumb. That's all it really takes to do this. And the Allen wrench that goes in it is a 3.5, I believe. Yes, 3.5. Which, if I'm not mistaken, comes in the toolkit that Boss provides when you buy the laser. So you should have no problems utilizing it to use this or set this tool up. And like I said, it's tool once it's installed, it's completely tool free to operate. Now, if you make adjustments, obviously you'll need a tool to loosen the upper two screws on here, the one there and the one there, or the inner, however you set it up. But other than that, the operation and use of this is tool free. You can leave it a little bit loose, that way you can slide it, but I wouldn't recommend it because it'll throw off the accuracy of it. It was designed to be the way it is, so if you use it the way it's designed, I can't help you for the outcome or the results. So check back in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and do a how-to video on all this. I know I did a little bit with you just now, but I'm going to do a full how-to on this video coming up, and it will include the rotary attachment to align it and everything else. So stay tuned, check back, and we'll see you next time.